Every year, millions of people worldwide consume ghee, with India alone producing over 170,000 metric tons annually, proving that this ancient cooking fat isn't going anywhere. But how do factories turn fresh dairy into pure, long-lasting ghee while keeping its signature taste and texture? Let's break it all down step by step here at The Process World. You see, ghee has been around for centuries, long before factories and machines took over the process. It dates back to ancient India, where people first discovered that heating butter removed water and milk solids, leaving behind a longer-lasting flavorful fat. In Hindu traditions, it's considered sacred and used in religious rituals, from temple offerings to fire ceremonies. Over time, its use spread beyond rituals and became a kitchen essential, known for its rich taste and health benefits. Texts from over 3,000 years ago already praised ghee for its role in Ayurvedic medicine, treating everything from digestion issues to skin problems. Eventually, as trade routes expanded, ghee found its way into the Middle Eastern and Southeast Asian cuisine, becoming a key ingredient in many dishes. Today, it's mass-produced in factories, ensuring it meets modern quality standards while still holding on to its centuries-old reputation as a prized cooking fat. When it comes to how it's made, you'll be impressed. Before we move into that, please leave a like and subscribe for more amazing videos like this one. Now, moving on. The journey of ghee starts long before it reaches the factory. It all begins with milk, the single most important ingredient. High-quality milk means high-quality ghee, which is why factories carefully select their sources. Dairy farms provide fresh milk, typically from cows or buffalo, depending on the type of ghee being produced. Before anything else, the milk goes through a series of tests to check for purity, fat content, and freshness. Any contamination or low fat levels can affect the final product, so strict quality control is in place. Once approved, the milk is stored in massive chilled tanks to keep it fresh until processing begins. Some factories use cow's milk for a lighter aromatic ghee, while others use buffalo milk, which is higher fat content and gives a thicker consistency. Regardless of the source, the goal is the same: getting the best raw material to create rich, flavorful ghee. But before ghee making begins, the milk goes through several important steps to get it ready for processing. The first step is milk separation, where fresh milk is spun at high speeds in a machine called a centrifugal separator. This process splits the milk into two parts: cream and skim milk. The cream, which contains the fat for ghee, is collected, while the skim milk is either used for other dairy products or discarded. Once separated, the cream is pasteurized to kill any harmful bacteria. This is done by heating it to a specific temperature and then cooling it down rapidly. Pasteurization ensures that the cream stays fresh and safe for processing. In some factories, the cream is directly heated to make ghee, while others first churn it into butter before moving to the next stage. If butter is being used, the cream is placed into large churning machines that shake and whip it until the solid butter forms. This is the same process used to make traditional butter, except in a much larger and more controlled environment. Once the butter is ready, it's stored at the right temperature until it moves to the ghee production stage. At this stage, factories use different methods depending on the type of ghee they want to produce, but every method follows the same core principle: heating the fat to remove water and separate the milk solids, leaving behind pure golden ghee. In this process, fresh cream is heated directly in large steam-jacketed kettles or automated ghee boilers. The cream is slowly heated to around 110 to 120 degrees Celsius, causing the water content to evaporate. As the temperature rises, the milk solids start to separate and sink to the bottom. This stage is crucial because overheating can burn these solids, affecting the final taste. Once the ghee reaches the right consistency, it is carefully filtered to remove any remaining solids, leaving behind clear, flavorful fat. This method is mostly used in small-scale factories or regions where fresh cream is readily available. It's efficient but requires constant monitoring to prevent burning and ensure that the right flavor develops. This is the most commonly used method in large-scale factories. Instead of using fresh cream, manufacturers start with unsalted butter. The butter is first melted at controlled temperatures of around 80 to 85 degrees Celsius. As it melts, the water naturally starts to evaporate, and the milk solids begin to separate. At this stage, the heat is increased to about 110 to 120 degrees Celsius, allowing the remaining moisture to escape while the milk solids turn golden brown, releasing the characteristic nutty aroma of ghee. Once the process is complete, the ghee is filtered to remove the browned milk residues, ensuring a smooth, clear final product. This method is popular because it provides better control over consistency and flavor while reducing the risk of burning. It also works well for mass production since butter is easier to store and handle than fresh cream. This method involves a unique separation process before heating. First, the butter is melted at 60 degrees Celsius and left to settle. After some time, the liquid naturally separates into 3 layers. 1. Denatured proteins floating on top. 2. Pure butter fat in the middle. 3. Buttermilk serum at the bottom. The bottom layer is drained off to remove excess moisture, and the remaining butterfat is heated to 110 to 120 degrees Celsius for final clarification. Because most of the unwanted components are removed before heating, this method produces high-purity ghee with minimal residue. It's commonly used for producing premium quality ghee. Regardless of the method used, the goal is always the same: eliminate water, separate milk solids, and refine the fat. The heating process causes moisture to evaporate, while the milk proteins caramelize, enhancing the aroma and giving ghee its rich taste. Once the ghee has been heated and the milk solids have separated, the next step is making sure it's completely pure. This is where filtration and purification come in. Well, even the smallest traces of burnt milk solids can affect the taste and texture, so factories take this process seriously. The ghee is passed through multiple layers of fine mesh filters or cloth strainers to remove any remaining solids. Some factories use advanced filtration systems, like vacuum filters or centrifuges, which ensure that only clear golden fat remains. The goal is to get a smooth, transparent product without any residue or cloudiness. At this stage, the temperature is carefully controlled. If it cools too fast, the ghee can solidify unevenly, creating a grainy texture. If it stays hot for too long, it can develop an overcooked taste. Precision is key. Once fully filtered, the ghee is inspected for clarity and purity. Workers or automated sensors check for any unwanted particles, off-colors, or inconsistencies. Only when it meets the quality standards does it move on to the next phase: cooling and packaging. This might sound simple, but it's a crucial stage that determines the final texture and consistency. In factories, the hot, liquid ghee is transferred into large cooling tanks. The temperature is gradually lowered to prevent the fat molecules from crystallizing too quickly. If cooled too fast, the ghee can develop a rough, grainy texture. If done correctly, it forms a smooth, uniform structure. Some manufacturers aim for a semi-soft texture, while others produce a firm or more solid ghee, depending on the regional preferences. The cooling process usually takes place at a controlled temperature between 20 to 25 degrees Celsius. Some factories use stirring mechanisms to ensure even solidification, while others let it settle naturally in large vats before packaging. Once the ghee reaches the perfect consistency, it's ready for the final step: packaging. This step is all about keeping the product fresh, preventing contamination, and making sure that it reaches consumers in perfect condition. Factories use different types of packaging depending on where the ghee will be sold. Glass jars are popular for premium ghee since it keeps the product well sealed and won't affect the taste. On the other hand, tin cans are widely used for larger quantities because they protect the ghee from light and air, which can cause oxidation. Some manufacturers also use plastic pouches and laminated containers, which are cost-effective and convenient for transportation. Before the ghee is sealed, it goes through a final quality check. Automated machines ensure that each container is filled with the correct amount, and some factories even run vacuum sealing processes to extend shelf life. Labels are then applied, displaying important details like batch numbers, expiration dates, and nutritional information. Once packed, the ghee is stored in temperature-controlled warehouses. It doesn't need refrigeration, but it must be kept in a cool, dry place to prevent spoilage. When stored properly, factory-produced ghee can last anywhere from 6 months to a year, maintaining its rich flavor and smooth texture until it reaches store shelves. Now that you know how ghee goes from fresh milk to a golden, shelf-stable powerhouse, here's something to think about. Would you trust yourself to make ghee at home? Or does the factory process seem like a safer bet? Share your thoughts in the comments section below.